Hi guys, this is Kevin from the Environmental Warriors. I just want to give you a quick update on the current state of Zandvlei. As you can clearly see, we have quite a big problem with plastics, litter, styrofoam, littering the shores. At the moment, the problem is actually very, very severe. We are having problems with the plastics now breaking down, as you can see, into a kind of slurry. As you look here closer, you can see that the plastics is now broken down into this kind of sludge and into very, very, very small little pieces like that over there. So as you can see, as we're walking along Zandvlei and we keep going and going and going, I'm walking actually back home, we can see that the spots start getting really, really bad at certain places. Now what you actually see here, this bits and these small bits here, that is actually the bottles, and these bottles broken down, including styrofoam, into small little bits of plastic, which is totally unmanageable. There's nothing you can actually do now. So as I keep walking along home, you can see here from what's going on all along this coastline, all along the sandbank. And let me know, this is only one small area of Zandvlei, and you can see it's tons and tons of rubbish. Now the reason why I'm actually making this video is I'd like to show you actually the biggest problem that we're experiencing, and this is microplastics. So what you can see here, as you go into the soil, the plastics have actually now become part of the soil. So if you look in there, you can actually see what I'm talking about. That, ladies and gentlemen, is that has become that. And as you can see, what I'm now doing is I'm just going to show you that as the plastic breaks down and moves into the sandbanks and into the reeds and into the grass areas, and then moves and gets into the soil. And even on this bank, as you can see here, as I'm digging down, the layers and layers of plastic that is actually now in the soil. This is no longer in the waterway. As you can see there, it's actually now getting into the soil and into totally unmanageable amounts. I mean, this is ghastly. This is your children's future. So this shot here is going to give you a good idea of the life cycle of the plastic. So it starts out there further, and as it comes in closer to the shore, you can see now it's breaking down into smaller bits. Then eventually it breaks down due to wind and wave action to this bits that you can see over there. And as you can see there, we have Coke bottles. Thanks Coca-Cola, you are the biggest mess, I have to be quite honest. Then you have chip packets, thank you to Pepsi-Cola. Then we have the styrofoam family, which is a really, really nice, rich family that produces styrofoam. There we have shampoo bottles, bread bags, another Coke bottle, and then here we have the microplastics. As you can see from here how it's broken down, it's becoming a soup. So I've put the camera onto zoom, and we're just going to go in. This will just give you an idea the size of the beads, the micro beads and the bits of plastic that are now going into the soil and into the system, the ecosystem, which is us. Okay, so I'm just going to grab handfuls of it so you get an idea. This is all floating all along the banks of the river, and then it washes up, and then it goes in to the soil and then becomes part of the sandbanks. As you can see, it's becoming a sludge and a soup, and it's pretty darn unmanageable, especially when you start looking at the sizes like this. Go down and down, and now onto macro. You can see what we're dealing with. Yep, so believe it or not, I can go up for you to see what we're dealing with, and then I can go down and down and down and down, and you can see this is actually floating on the water. This is pretty large amounts of plastic. Let's scoop it up for you so you can see. This is Zandvlei, guys. This is Muizenberg on your doorstep. This is you, this is what you've made. And this is now, I would say, at criminal proportions. Hi guys, I'm going to introduce you to plastic soup. This is the plastics that become broken down due to wave, sun action, heat. And as you can see, we're going in and closer and closer. Now this is plastic soup. This actually floats on the water, as you can see from here. The bigger pieces that you see there, and then the smaller pieces that you can see now become very, very tiny. It floats on the water, becomes very, very acidic. And yeah, it pollutes the waterway. And look at this, and you imagine this as you go up, this to be your whole world. And as you can see, I walk 1 meter, I walk 2 meters, stop, and more again. And as you can see, Coca-Cola Reds, plastics, micro beads, you name it, it's all here. Okay, and as you can see, there's more plastics, as you can see here along the ground. Now, to be honest, for the life of me, I have no idea how you can paddle past this mess or fish in this mess with all this rubbish. I don't know how you can be civilized. Consider yourself a member of society while you participate and actually be in the environment that looks like this. And I have to say, this is my worst product of all. Of all the products that I have the biggest problem with is actually this particular product, styrofoam or polystyrene. Unmanageable, breaks down into small bits, and there's very not much we can do about it. I'm just going to give you another quick understanding of the life cycle of plastic. So when it hits the shores, like all the polystyrene, as you can see there, it's broken down into small bits. Further out, it's larger and larger, and then this just gives you an idea of our plastic soup that floats now upon Zandvlei. And I'm not too sure what I can say more than just this video evidence showing this is one small little river in one small little place called Muizenberg, and this I can imagine is worldwide over.